Residents in this Buffalo neighborhood say they have been living under siege. They say more than a dozen properties that you can see here were owned or controlled by suspected drug dealers. News 4's Luke Moretti's here with more.
Yeah, Diana, authorities say those properties helped keep a suspected drug operation going for a decade, operating 24 hours, 7 days a week. Members used counter surveillance with lookouts, authorities tell us, in an effort to keep police off the trail.
This whole block is empty.
On this cold February day, Swinburne Street in Buffalo is desolate. Recently, federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies broke up a suspected crack cocaine trafficking operation and arrested 9 people.
Those are locations that were used to sell drugs from, and that's a problem. It's a problem for the citizens of Buffalo. It's a problem for us.
Government prosecutors say these suspected dealers had been involved in the drug trafficking game since 2000, and that it was done by taking control of 2 city streets.
Almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for approximately 12 years.
How did a suspected ring of drug-dealing criminals take over an entire neighborhood?
This started out very, very small, and it started many years ago.
Police say the leader was a woman named Teresa Anderson. She's 58 years old and facing federal drug charges, along with other family members and associates. Buffalo Police Commissioner Daniel Dorenda says Anderson had been under investigation for 2 years and is no stranger to law enforcement.
She's been arrested on everything from narcotics to forgery to grand larceny. You name it, she's been arrested for it.
Still, authorities say she was able to continue trafficking drugs for a decade, using lookouts and buying properties strategically located on city streets. How is it possible that this woman in the suspected criminal enterprise was able to operate in that neighborhood for 12 years?
I don't know if she operated in that particular neighborhood for about 12 years. When I look at her arrest record, she's used a multitude of addresses.
Some people might make an argument and say this would never happen in North Buffalo. If a drug dealer moved in or somebody was trafficking, they wouldn't be there very long.
Again, when people make us aware of it, you might have, in the area where she was trafficking, a lot of vacant homes, very few people living on the street, a little bit easier to hide what she's doing.
Authorities say 15 properties in the area were purchased and controlled by Teresa Anderson and others. 9 of those properties are on Swinburne and Deschler Streets. You can't help but wonder if this is a forgotten neighborhood. On this block of Swinburne, there are 4 vacant houses right here in this immediate area. Up the street, we counted 4 more. That's 8. And on this side of the street, 4 more. That's 12 vacant houses, all in this immediate area. People who live here know that these vacant, dilapidated houses are only an invitation for trouble.
I mean, people can just open up shop. All you do is take the wood off and go right on in.
Harrison Hunter knows it's a problem.
Furniture's still in some of these houses. It's just like they just moved out, just left. This whole block is empty. Yeah. You know, the next street too. Next street too.
Is that a forgotten, would you say a forgotten neighborhood?
I haven't forgotten about it.
Buffalo Common Council member David Franzik represents the Swinburne-Deschler neighborhood.
On Swinburne between Broadway and Ashley, there's only 1 house that gets mailed.
And the rest are what, vacant?
Are vacant or torn down. So that's what you got.
Did you ever get any complaints from that neighborhood? Did anybody call?
Overall, we would get general complaints that we would call in, but not complaints that this woman is like this Ma Barker controller of this family drug ring. We never got a call like that.
Right. Buffalo Common Council President Richard Fontana has seen what happens to neighborhoods when illegal drug activity takes over. It's happened in his district.
They scare out the homeowners, they rob the remaining people, and then they do their criminal enterprise. And that's the recipe for disaster on a street. It becomes a ghost town, and they're the only ones left.
If the government is successful in getting a conviction, the conspiracy and drug trafficking charges carry a mandatory minimum sentence of 10 years in prison to a maximum life sentence. Prosecutors say they intend to seize properties owned by Anderson or her relatives. Luke Moretti, News 4.